Hello again, traders, and welcome out to Currency 101 series, Module 2, Charts. In the previous module, we discussed the basics of Tradingview, all the little functionalities, but in the following modules, we'll be diving deeper into those individual topics. So in this module, we'll be primarily talking about charts. We'll be customizing it, chart preferences, functions. We'll be doing a lot more charting, drawing trend lines, indicators on the charts, doing some custom layouts, multiple layouts, and then we'll take a look at toolbar options and functionalities. So let's dive right into the charts here. So we have the Tradingview platform up here, and as you can see in the Tradingview, we have a random pair selected, and this is a common background that you'll see during most of my classes. It's a white background, it's a lighter theme. But I would actually find myself mostly using the darker theme as well, especially during the times where you don't need that extra light. It's actually much easier on your eyes as well. So you can actually easily do that by going into the options, say over here, and selecting the dark color theme. And if you do that, this will totally change the color scheme. So this, again, it's much easier at nighttime, where white one might be more easier during the daytime. So you can kind of go switch back and forth between those two. This option is actually, it comes in very handy because you don't have to go back and change the chart color. You can just go right click and you can do the color theme, and you can select light and you can select dark. You can also do a whole lot of other settings, and you can save them as well. But right now, we'll just take a look at light and dark. And actually, let's go into some other areas where we can do these chart settings. So right click on the chart, click settings. Now this is where you'll have options between symbols, appearance. You can do a whole lot of different things. So let's just say that you don't really care for the light or the dark background, but you want something more custom. This is where you can go on the background. You can select this one, and actually you can pick anything that you like. You will like it a little dark light green. Well, there you go. You have that in the background there. You can play around with the other settings as well. And the best thing is that you can play around with it, and if you don't want it, just click cancel. You can do the exact same thing when you go to symbols. You can change the red for the red candle to the green candle. You can change that to everything, something else as well. I actually use the status line a lot here as well, because in the symbol, what do you want the symbol to be? You want the description? Do you want the ticker? We can use that. So I like to use the description, so you have the both of that. So it's again personal preference. So you can also have the background, and again play around with those. Under the scaling, this is where you can kind of name things on the y-axis, on the bottom axis, like the symbol name on the right hand side. You'll see on the chart it just start to open up that symbol. So if you want to keep things less crowded, you just don't have all these options checked, but you have the options where you can do a high and low price labels. So you can see if I do a high and low, it just tells you, okay, what is the high and what is the low on that given chart. So this is where you go and do all the settings, and pretty much see if what works the best for you. Like in the events section, you can also do show events on chart. I think this one comes in very handy, because right at the bottom of the screen it will just tell you, okay, well, if you're holding this pair, there's a news event coming up, and will tell you what news event it is, and is that an important event to really pay attention to. But at least this way you won't miss a news event if you haven't checked the schedule. All right, let's actually go back to our white background, and we'll actually now start to do some charting here. So once you have this theme saved, you can now go into and say, well, this is where we will be starting doing our technical analysis. So as you can see that on the left hand side, you have the trend line, and you have a bunch of other tools that you will use from time to time. Most importantly, we like to use the trend lines, and if you just click on this arrow there, you have the horizontal lines, you have the trend lines. So this, again, you will select this accordingly what you're trying to draw on the chart. So let's say we want to draw a bit of a trend line here, so you just go on the trend line and right there. So as you are getting starting into charting, this is where you can have a whole lot of fun by drawing on the charts. This again makes it more visible on the technical levels as well, especially if you're taking a look at support and resistance levels versus the pivot points. These lines comes in handy. Notice that these lines can also be customized, so I have it set up as red color, but if you right click on that line, you'll go you can actually go to the settings, and right here you can decide what color do you want it. We can change that to a green color, let's say. We can also change the size of it as well. If we want it a bit thicker, we wanted dotted lines, we wanted dash lines. There's a whole lot of options that you can pick. So again, to your preference, see what works the best for you. On the other tools that we have, again, text comes in very handy. Let's just say you want to identify, or you want to put something on the chart. Let's just say, well, this is a breakout point, or let's say you want to mark that where you entered. This is again comes in handy. You can do some text on it. So if you're trying to, let's say, save something, and as an example, let's say if you found a great setup and you want to use it for your reference for the future, you can actually just do some text, write things on it, so that way it looks very visually it looks a lot more appealing. And if you want to delete it, just right click on it and remove. Other things that you have available, it's more like you have the tool and the highlighters, so you can highlight things on it. So this is again for illustrations. This comes in very handy, but mostly, you can use either the brush or you can use the highlighter. And again, if you want to get rid of those things, you can right click and you can simply remove that. Other tools, there's Fibonacci retracements that you'll do it a lot more often, studying these channels. So this is where you select that. You select the bottom and the bottom and the top end, and this will give you Fibonacci on your chart. And again, something that you'll use more often as we look at those retracement points. All right, so we can remove those drawings. Now, another tool that we use a lot often is just measuring the move. You want to see, okay, what's the top and the bottom line of that move. So you just click on the ruler, and this is what gives you that measurement tool. You can select the bottom to the top, and you can say that, okay, well, from October 29th till to date, this dollar CAD has gone up 5%. So again, it comes in handy if you're trying to look at things not from the price perspective, but you're trying to look at from the percentage perspective. There's a magnifying glass over here. There's a lot more other tools like magnet mode, and you can lock all the drawings. Let's say you want to keep everything and you don't want to remove everything. You can lock those drawings, or you can hide all those drawings. If you're just trying to leave the drawings there, but you don't want to see it at the moment, you don't have to remove it and re-add it. You can pretty much do a show and a hide. So let's just say you have a fancy background, you have the labels, you have the text in there, but then you just want to go back to the clear chart, but not lose those things. You can just click on hide those things. And again, if you click on remove all drawings, click this trash button, it will remove everything from the chart. And lastly, on the top of the chart, you have tools. So you have to take a look at what all this tool functionality does. So we have the time frames over here, but then if you want to go back into more time frames, you can click on the arrow, and that'll give you a lot more options on those time frames. Right next to it is this candlesticks. So you can change it to a line bar. You can change that to other candlestick patterns if you follow, but mostly we just use the candlesticks over here. You have the plus sign, which this is where you actually compare things. A lot of times you'll see that I refer or compare it to the equity markets. Let's say I want to take a look at dollar CAD, but I want to compare it to the S&P 500. So I can just type in SPX, click on new price scale, and as you can see, this quickly get added onto the chart. And the cool thing about this is that you can have multiple things added as you just click on show and hide. So if there's something that you use more often, you use the option show and hide. And if there's something just using it for one time, you can just delete that from your screen. So right now, SPX is something that we primarily compare things to, then you can just leave that in there and click show and hide. Right next to it, you have the FX. This is where you get to add your indicators and strategies. Search it. They'll give you the options. You can add it, and then you can customize it. So easy way to customize any of the things that you add is you click a settings button, and the settings button then will give you more options. So for example, I have a 20-day moving average here. I can click on settings. Now this is where I can change the color, I change the style of it, and I can change the input. So this is a 20-day. I can make it to a 15-day if I wanted to, or I can increase the time frame. Right next to it, we have this graph, so it's the fundamentals. Financial, again, this comes in handy, especially if you're doing your stock trading analysis. You're trying to find something on Apple, let's say. Doesn't work that well for the currencies, but it works well for the stocks. And right next to it is the indicator template. So this is where once you have a desired template that you really like, and again, this is where you can have multiple templates based on your likings. So I can quickly go on and indicator templates. I can save this to charting template. As you get to remember the symbol, you can remember the intervals, everything gets saved there. And you're going to have a chart that is simple. There's nothing on it. You can save that as a clean chart, and then you can have multiple charts with multiple settings on it. So that way, if you had to scroll between the charts, as you can see, I have some other templates saved. We can go into this other chart example, and I have my ATR and I have my secondary indicators at the bottom. And then let's say if I don't want that and want to go back to what we just did, what we just created today, and right there, and then we have that right there. Another tip over here for this chart is that you'll notice that if you double click on it, it will open the indicators at the bottom. But sometimes those indicators can really take up the space from the chart. So you just double click on that, and it hides it. If you click it back, it brings it back into your screen. Right next to it, you have again, we just talked about indicator templates. We have this bar replay feature, so we'll be talking more about it in another module. This is where we'll do back testing. You can create alerts, and then another one over here is select layout. So this is where we have the one single layout, but let's say if I want to see two things side by side, I can do that. If I want to see four things side by side, do that. So in this case, you don't, if you have this symbol thing checked, then all the charts, all four windows will be synced to the same symbol. If you uncheck it, then you can have different things into these different windows. So I can take a look at Aussie dollar over here. I can take a look at Bitcoin over here. I can take a look at, in this window, I can take a look at SPY. So notice that different windows. And again, you'll notice that all charts have different templates on it. Let's say on this chart, I want to add the template that we just created. Then I click on this chart, go on to templates, and then click charting. And you'll see you got the chart template right there. So this again creates removes that repetition of creating those things, and just everything is available in a click of a button. So this is what you need to do to customize and make your charting experience a lot more easier and smoother, and then it saves you a whole lot of time in the long run as well. So a quick review, make sure you go and practice with the drawing tools in the chart section, and then become familiar with that toolbar option that's on the top of the chart. Add your indicators to your chart that you primarily use with your trading, and then create templates and multiple layouts based on your preferences.